Today we're going to talk a little bit about emotions. Creative you are, what a great idea that is. If nobody can guide you how to treat your friends and so forth, and if you're thrown in an environment where there's a lot of negativity going on, you absorb that negativity, especially when you're a young person. And if you're a young person absorbing all that negativity, it just keeps building up and building up. You do that for year after year after year after year after year. That negativity starts building up even more and more and more, and the pressure point gets greater. So suddenly there comes this event, this horrific incident that happened in the city with this young man, and somewhere in the whole environment of that inner city, that anger erupted, and it comes out as violence, and it comes out as burning up buildings, turning over cars. And when there's uncontrolled anger, there's no thought process that's rationalizing what to do with it, right? So it's just going to come out, period. And if you think of the whole inner city as a field, it's in the field, somewhere in there. In that whole place is the field. Yeah, there's love and grace, and there's churches, and there's all that support too. That's the other side. But still, deep inside of there is this frustration, and it comes out, boom, comes out as anger. Well, now we all have anger inside of us, because anger is a flow of feelings and a flow of emotions. We have love inside of us. It's sort of like a scale on which one's greater. And there's ways to take that anger and make it and transform it into love, because it's all just energy. Energy is malleable. Energy takes on different forms. If you ever read The Secret, they talk about seeing and feeling the future around you, being a magnetic attraction. What you put out in the world, you attract. So if you put out anger, you attract anger. If you put out love, you attract love. Kind of that basis. But a lot of teachings around how to use The Secret is to be able to visualize the future. So there's a lot of groups out there, especially like money-making groups. If you want to make a certain amount of money, well, be very specific. And they use NLP, neuro-linguistic programming techniques, to both feel, hear, see the whole thing. Use your different senses. So let's say I want to make $10,000 a month. And you would then get very specific for your mind to be able to take that on. Like, so let's do it in 3 months. I want to make $10,000 in 3 months. So you put an exact date to that. So whatever date it is today, put a 3-month date out there. Now, when you see that result happen, where are you? You give it a location. When you're in that location, what's it like around you? What's the ambient? Are the birds outside singing? What time of the year of it? What's the air smell like? What room are you in? Are you looking at a computer screen? How do you verify that? Who's around you? You just paint the whole picture with all these feelings, these visions, these, how is it, and you put yourself into that. So that's one step, but the step that most people don't quite get is that you've got to match the vision with the emotion. Now, I often teach feelings as a kinesthetic type of thing. Here and now I'm feeling warm, I'm feeling cold, I'm feeling hot, and then there's the other elements, that one we talked about, the element of emotion that is an ambiance. So your trick is to take that vision out there and bring it into the full ambient, and then the full ambient spreads around your body, so it's going to affect how you're breathing. The texture of that, it's going to affect the area around your skin and inside your skin, different than just a straight old kinesthetic feeling. It affects tensions in your muscles. So it's much more full, and it's when you think of it in like the chakra terms, the emotional center is centered into the pelvic area, and that's if we have feelings around both sex and sensuality, a lot of power there, the ability to create and the ability to destroy, that type of energy is focused and centered in that area. So here's an example then of of a person that you could maybe relate to who took some of these elements and a very simple thing like a skill set. We're not talking about the big gamut of making money in the future and so forth. But if you ever saw Ray Allen play, he was on the championship Miami Heat in 2013, championship team for Boston a few years earlier. He goes up to the foul line. He's one of the best foul shooters in the history of basketball. And every time he goes up, he sits there and sinks the ball in his mind before he picks up the real ball. Imaginary ball, shoots it, watches it. You could watch it in his eyes. You see him seeing the ball go down into the hoop, down in, the successfulness of having shot that, and he does that repeatedly. So there's another element here. We've got to take the vision, we've got to create it into the emotional body, and we've got to keep it in focus. So here, every time before he does that skill set, he plays it forward in his mind, sinks that shot, and then puts his body into it and just fulfills the vision that has already happened. There's a way to work the secret. Got to get your emotions in there. So things happen with our emotions, and they're a little tricky. And sometimes there's places in our emotions that we don't know. And there's places in our bodies that we don't know are holding on to the energy, like a little fist. It could be a little point somewhere here in the body that doesn't want to move yet, that is actually running the show. It has all sorts of history to it. And if you think of time and space as kind of a relative thing, that little point there, if we take it and think it's an infinite point, is actually huge effect on our being. So if we can get the energy to move through that, then it can move through our whole psyche, our being, our spirit, and give us a new sense of energy. So that's what we do at Your Unbreakable Spirit. So if you're interested in pursuing that avenue of freeing up your energy, you can go to our website and see a little bit more at www.yourunbreakablespirit.com and hopefully get some energy moving. So I'll see you later. Take care. Namaste.